So beyond the basics of Canva, we are going to talk today about kind of our advanced tips and tricks in Canva. So hopefully everyone is excited. When you log into Canva, since we do have a handful of new people, just always my quick reminder, in that upper left-hand corner, make sure you see the name of that school or district in the upper left-hand corner, so that you know you are in that school and district team. So that's important. And then on the left over here, we have projects. If you wanted to try this today as we create, this would be a great kind of advanced tip to try. Under projects over here on the left, under the little folder option, there is a plus sign in this upper right-hand corner. There's a plus sign up here. Under that plus sign, you can upload your own design. So today we're going to start in a presentation, and I'm going to give you time to find one. And we're going to kind of roll through some of the tools using a presentation, because then we're going to talk whiteboarding. If you have a PowerPoint or a Google slide that you've already created and you wanted to try to upload it into Canva and then continue to edit it and reimagine it within Canva, as it will become fully editable, you can do that here. So projects with the little folder icon, plus sign, upload or import. You can use the waffle as well and import from Google Drive or OneDrive. So again, projects, plus sign, upload or import. And then if you bring in a slide deck, it will come over as an editable presentation. It'll show up right here in your designs, and then you can edit it. So that was one option for you today. If you don't want to upload your own and you want to start with something from Canva, then we're going to go back to this homepage. And then in the search bar here, we're going to look for a presentation to start with. So you can type in presentation, education presentation, presentation about something. Maybe you want to find something in your content area, something along those lines. You can search for science presentation, writing presentation. As long as you're using that word presentation, that's really what we're looking for. So we're going to start in a presentation template today, and then we're going to dive through some of these tips and tricks. This is a little bit newer. I may have said this in a previous session, but it didn't look like a lot of you had been in the sessions before. So this is new to Canva, and I just want to kind of point it out because it is a really great resource that has presentations in it. So if you find when I show you this that you want to use, great. But on Canva's homepage, over here on the left under templates, so under templates on the left, which is our template library, now when you scroll down, you're going to see this section here. So it's not super new, but I want to point it out and just talk through this a little bit, just to kind of share what these are. So under that templates tab, you have these ready to teach lessons. So this is fantastic. When I choose see all, what you're seeing is we have brand new lessons. They were mostly geared towards K-8. However, there are some for upper levels, and we're going to continue to add. We have ones for science, math, ELA, and art. And then we have a whole set of future skills. So these are things like critical thinking. We have a partnership with NASA. These are a lot of our partner ones. This is scientific method. This one is executive functioning. This is design, path to purpose, so motivation. This is like oceanography, ecosystems, financial literacy, be the change. So all kinds of wonderful things. So there's lots of really fun ones in here. What these are is they are collections of templates. They do have content in them. So I get asked that a lot. Is it just like the theme? No, it really does have content that can be used to teach a topic. So for example, if I'm an ELA teacher, let's say I'm going to teach paragraph structure. If I click on this lesson pack, it's going to show me what's in them. Each one is a little different. They almost all have a presentation. So if you want to grab one of these as a presentation and try it out, I should have said that in the beginning, apologies. But this one has the presentation, a worksheet, flashcards, and a graphic organizer. This one says it's for grade 5. Again, you can adjust that. You could add, and these are become fully editable. So if you feel like they're too high or too low, you can go ahead and make some adjustments on your end. Let's see. I can find one that's a little different. Like this one's on writing a thesis. This one has presentation, poster, infographic, and another presentation. If we go up to math, let's see. This one has a presentation, a worksheet, and a comic strip for math. So that's kind of fun. So if you choose to use this lesson, it's going to take these templates. It's going to put them in a folder in your projects tab, and then you can go in and completely edit and modify them as you want. So actually, I'm going to do that. Let's find one that I want to do. I'm going to pick an English one because that's what I teach. I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to choose. So this one has a whiteboard in it, some graphic organizers. This is great. So I'm going to choose use. It's saving it to a folder. So now they're all here in a folder. When you get these, it's going to look like this. You can kind of ignore this activity experience. Most people are using, I know, a learning management, so Google Classroom, things like that, Schoology Canvas. So you're going to take these, and when you go to share them, you're actually just going to share them through what you're already using to communicate with students. So don't worry about, those types of things. But I'm going to go into the presentation. I'm going to close this sidebar out and just work in the presentation itself. So again, you'll notice it has content in it. It has information, and I can go in and edit any one of these things. It's fully customizable. So if you want to explore those lessons and grab a presentation from there, I should have said that in the first place. Apologies for that. But you're welcome to do that also. So those are our new lessons. They are created by teachers and doubly vetted by teachers. So that's also a side note. That is, I know, important and helpful. They are created with the standards in mind, even if they don't list the standards on there. All right. Perfect. So if you have a presentation open, I'm going to go through a few of the tips and tricks in our design editor. So on this left-hand side, you have our menu of options. Really great question. Is there like the marks? I'm assuming with letters, not unless you have a keyboard installed on the device itself that you can switch over to. We don't have the language keyboard out yet, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's kind of answers the question in the chat. Good question. All right, on the left, we have elements. This is our element library. This is pretty much where we live when we're adding things to our design. A couple things, and I've said this in sessions before, so apologies if this is repeat, but I think this is one thing that gets overlooked a lot of times in our sessions or as we're creating. So this is informational text. Maybe I really like this information, but the slides are a little plain. Maybe I want to jazz them up a little bit. So I can come over here to elements and I can search for whatever I'm looking for. Maybe I'm going to add some stars to my design. When I search stars under elements, I have all kinds of different options. I have shapes, graphics, photos, videos, frames, all kinds of things. I'm going to start with graphics. This is kind of where we live. And you'll notice we have animated graphics. We have non-animated graphics, all kinds of different options. What I also love to tell people, and I say this all the time, but it's such a good reminder, especially as you start working with students, is be creative in your search. So maybe I want a blue star because I have yellow and blue in here. I can type in neon. I can type in 3D. I'm trying to think of my other fun ones. Like maybe I really want a balloon star. It's going to give me stars that look like balloons, or maybe I want fuzzy stars. Maybe if they have it, it'll be, look, there's a little fuzzy star. So again, it could be, that sounds silly, but you can have some fun and be creative in your searches when you're adding things to your design. And so I always like to share that. The other thing I like to share, let me go back to let me think of a different one to go back to. We'll go back to painted. Maybe I want things to look more watercolor. Also, I don't know why mine keeps telling me it's not English. I apologize. It's been doing that for the last few days. I'm not sure what's happening. If I go through these and maybe I find one, maybe I like these kind of paint drippy ones. Like we'll add this one. I'm gonna add this one up here. When you hover over an element in Canva, it's gonna be really hard to see because it's dark on dark. But if you hover over an element, there are 3 dots that show a menu. Anytime you see 3 dots anywhere in Canva, there's always a menu attached. That's my biggest tip and trick. When I click that, it's going to show me whether I want to star this one. I can favorite elements if I want to find them again later. I can actually create whole folders of elements to use or to share. This one didn't have that other option. Let me see if this one has one. Perfect. This is a good example. This one I can see more like this if I want to find things that are similar. And then this one also has a whole collection. So if I choose view collection, this is all kind of spray painted, I don't know, art, whatever this looks like. So different things here. So that one is a collection. So you can find things that are similar, have a same style, different things like that. Letters, that's my favorite tip and trick as far as element searches. Maybe I want to create a really interactive and engaging title to something. So under graphics, I can type in balloon letters, fuzzy letters, animal letters, sports letters, whatever you're teaching. Maybe you're teaching oceanography or you're teaching geography or something, and you want a letter collection to spell out a title that goes with it. Same type of thing. I can find all kinds of fun letters. I can hover over those letters, choose that 3-dot menu, view a collection, and then here's all the ones that look like the one I found, and I can spell out different words. So elements, there's a lot buried in there that I think often gets missed. They're fun to just kind of have some creativity around it, and change up the template. So that's one tip in Elements. So I'm gonna give you some time to practice these in a minute too. But one good tip is the ability to search and use that menu to find similar things or to see more of a specific style. The other thing that I always get asked is, well, what if I didn't search it myself? Maybe I like these kind of people graphics that are in here, but they were already in my template. How do I find them or find things like them? If you click on something that's already in a template, like you didn't search it, it came with the template. Across the top, you have some options, and one of them is this little information eye, which most of us ignore. That is the same menu. So I can star things, I can see more like it. This one does have a whole collection. I can view a collection. Maybe I want to add more little people to this slide deck. So again, if you click on something, or if you forget and you already add it, I can go back, choose the little information button, and here's that same menu. So kind of a nice tip and trick if you're trying to be cohesive and build something consistent. So that's one tip under elements. And then you have shapes, and you have this, which a lot of us, there was a handful of you who said you took the AI class, but I'll point this out as well. This is our AI image generator. If you haven't played in here in a while, it's gotten much, much, much better. So this is where you can generate your own images instead of pulling something from our photo library or the video library. Students, this is one of the AI tools that students also have. So maybe I want to add something specific here. Maybe I want otters riding. Actually, I'm typing on a computer in a classroom. I don't know, I'm picking otters. Maybe you want dogs. Maybe you want some fun animal. Maybe you want students. Maybe your mascot for your school is something, the tigers. I don't know. You could just have some fun and be creative to fit, to like add to your design. So maybe instead of people, I want little otters typing on my keyboards. These are pretty cute. Okay, I like this one though. I'm gonna put this one in here. Maybe I'm just gonna have some fun with this. Great for digital storytelling, great for so many things. We talk a lot about this in my AI session, which I know the recording is posted somewhere, but lots of fun ways. We have lots of different styles and filters for these, but that's that AI image generator, allows you or students to type anything and everything possibly imaginable. It's under elements over here on the left. As you scroll down, you'll see this AI image generator section and then an option to generate your own. When you click on that, you will just type in right in here anything you can imagine, and it will come up with it. It is very heavily filtered, so don't panic about it generating anything you're not supposed to. It will definitely filter that out. So elements, AI image generator. And then one last thing in our elements, that this has had some updates. So this isn't new, but I want to share because I think these updates are really fun and they make it so much easier to use these things. We also have frames and grids. So at the bottom, there's frames and grids listed here. Anytime you have a photo, typically, I opened this template first to show you, but this template has photos in it that obviously aren't me. If I delete these photos, a lot of times what you're left with is this like cartoon landscape. And so at the bottom of elements, when you scroll down, you see that same kind of thing here where you have frames and grids. If you've never explored in Canva frames, there's some really fun opportunities here. I'm going to do this on a blank slide just to give it a little bit more space, but you can, maybe, there we go. We have basic shapes. We have film and photo if you want something to look like a photograph. That's kind of fun, a Polaroid. You could have something that looks like a cell phone or a laptop. Oh, good. If you already love frames, you're going to love this new update. Wait till I'll see what you can do now, which is my favorite. Flowers, blobs, same kind of thing. I can actually search within frame. So earlier when I was looking for stars, it kind of gave me star frames. The other fun option under frames there are letter frames as well. So I could spell out words, or if you're numbering something, like if you have I actually just saw this. People were numbering different topics in something. Okay, let me go back. So I might have to search it. I'm gonna put in the number 1. I can put in a number, things like that, and I can fill it. Anytime you see these frames and this kind of cartoon landscape, what it's looking for is a photo or a video to snap into that shape. So photos or videos. So I'm going to find a fun, maybe I want a fun star with floating glitter in it. Is it going to play? There we go. Oops. So photos or videos will snap into those shapes. So just kind of fun ways to kind of reanimate different things. However, one thing you'll notice, I'll do it with my otter picture. I'll put him back in here, is when you put a photo in here, it's going to snap to the center of that picture. So it's only showing part of it. If you double click on the image or the video that you add to a frame, come on, there we go. You can see what part is being shown in the frame. So I can actually make it stretch it if I just want his little face in there. I can move it around. Something that's new that just kind of launched, which I think is really great, is now you can rotate pictures in your frames. You used to have to kind of hack it. It was kind of a pain in the butt. But now I can rotate right in the frame, kind of move it around, center it how I want it. And there you go. So I think it's so silly, but it's so helpful. When you bring in Bitmojis, I think they come in as images. So I think you can. It might cut off part of it depending on how it is. I actually don't have a Bitmoji, I don't think, connected, but I think you can because I think they come in as images. The other thing that's a little bit newer is you'll notice when you have these frames, if you have something kind of light, maybe I want this glitter. Okay, obviously it kind of blends into the background. When I click on a frame, we also have the option across the top here. You now can add a border to any frame. It sounds, again, really silly, but it can be really helpful when you're creating to kind of give it a little bit of a different view so that you can, it's not you, it's hard to see. That's not a great option. Let me put this one in. Maybe that'll help a little. Or maybe it's just slow today. But anyways, borders on frames, borders on anything now, pretty much anything you add to a design, you have the option to add a border. And so that's kind of a nice way to outline things as needed. So again, rotating borders, a little bit silly, but super helpful if you're trying to make things stand out. So those are my silly tips for frames, but that is a little bit of a new release. So there is that. All right, so frames and grids, photos and videos, frames, borders, things like that. All right, I'm looking over here at my list to make sure I don't miss things. Kind of skip. All right. On this left-hand side, you have text, which is our text boxes, different text effect combinations. I share this in every session, but I swear by it because still people don't know. If you click on your page in Canva and you press the letter T on your keyboard, T for text, you will get a text box every time. That's in a weird spot because of the star. So T for text gives you a text box every time. So just saves you clicks. Click on the page, T for text. There you go. So you don't have to go text box. So that's a good tip as well. And then I know it's so silly, but it's the best. It's the best tip. On the left under here, under uploads, this is where you can upload your own pictures. If you create that text to image and add it to a page, it's going to save in your uploads. So my uploads looks real crazy all the time because I do this demo every day. But under uploads, you can bring in pictures, video, and audio. I show this quite a bit, but we've gotten a really great new improvement on this, and I want to highlight it. So under uploads, you also have the option to record yourself. You have this and students have this. So it gets buried and often people don't even know it's there. So I think I have to turn my camera off to do it. Record yourself. Ooh. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just got back from a week of being on vacation, so don't look at my kitchen, my messy kitchen. But it does drop you into the recording studio. You can record yourself and your screen, or just your screen. So you have options here. I always tell people this when you, like, for example, this is really great for doing, like, if students want to create podcasts, you can do that really easily in Canva. If they just want to record anything where it's just their voice, or if you want to record something that's just your voice or something and not your face, you can turn the camera off. And notice that I still have this icon here. So I'm going to record myself. I think it's going to count me down. This part would be the same no matter if I had my camera on or not. I can actually navigate between slides. Yes, they could practice world language. They could practice verbal, speaking, things like that. I'm going to go one more slide. And then when I'm done, I'm going to choose done and save. So whether or not I had my camera on, what it does is when you change pages, it knows where you changed pages, and I'm going to go one more slide and break that apart for you. So if you record over 10 slides and you mess up in the middle, you can just delete the one you messed up on and re-record that one. You don't have to re-record the whole thing. One thing we always get asked though is, what if I just want my voice and I don't want the video, but I have this icon here, and it's like, now I still have this, even though I have this part would be the same, no matter audio that's attached to it. This just got a huge update. Before, you used to have to kind of hack it and turn the transparency down, or there were some ways around it. But now, any video that you bring into Canva, if you click on, it's hard to see, but my icon is right here. Sorry, I was like over that picture. Let me move it so you can see it. If you have this icon, but all you really want is the audio from it, if you click the 3-dot menu, you have an option here to extract audio. So I can choose extract audio. Now here's the audio track. That's just the sound. And then I can delete that image and it's gone. Now I just have the audio. So I'll show that again. I'm going to go to this one and do it here. So I have this one here that I recorded, 3-dot menu, extract audio. I can delete it and it's gone. One thing you'll notice, this is kind of, again, a little bit of advanced tip, is that you'll notice the audio track is longer than the slide. Slides by default are 5 seconds, but I recorded more than 5 seconds of sound. We've made this also really easy. All you have to do is along the bottom, there's a little duration kind of tab here with a little play button. When you click that, it'll turn this into a little bit of like a video. So I can just drag this one. So again, it's a little bit of an advanced trick, but then I just move it over, drag this slide to match the audio, and there you go. So it's a little bit of kind of manipulation, but you can extract that audio, and then you can adjust your slides to fit. A lot of times with podcasting, they're recording a long amount of time over one slide. So that's where I see it used quite a bit, but it could be used for other things. But you can extract that audio now, and you won't have the image there. I can go back to this, and now I'm back into my slides. So again, a little advanced tip. This is a little bit of beyond the basics, but the fact that you can extract audio is really helpful. So that is how you do it. All right, let me look at my list. Extract audio, perfect. The other thing that I think often gets missed is the ability to manipulate different things. Actually, we're talking about that right now. I was like, I want to make sure I get all this in, but what order? So on the left, you also have draw. Actually, I'm going to come back to draw and shapes, because we're going to talk a little bit about presentations and whiteboarding also. So we're just moving down this left-hand menu. You also have projects. So this one I often skip in our regular sessions because it's a little bit of that kind of advanced tip, but this is such a helpful thing if you're building quite a bit of slides or different things in Canva. So this projects tab here is the exact same thing as your projects tab here on the homepage. That's really slow. We've been having, actually, Canva had a bunch of glitches today where we were down this morning, so mine is still loading slow. So this projects tab, where all of my designs are saved, is the same as this projects tab here. So let's say I have this entire Making Connections slideshow and it's great, but I want to add more slides to it. I can find another design, or maybe not even slides. It could be any design. It could be a video. It could be a comic strip. Maybe I want to put a comic strip in here. We'll do one that has something in it. It does readjust. Notice the background kind of filled the space and it readjusted. But I can come in here and I can really easily combine designs. So instead of having all my tabs open and copying and pasting slides over, I just find the other slides I want to use or designs, add a page, and I can pop in any slide. So a little bit of a time saver on that one too. So projects is just projects, and there you go. A few apps that I want to talk about, and then we're going to talk a little bit about whiteboarding too. So a few apps that I want to talk about here that often get missed. Your apps are going to look much different than mine. I have a lot of things turned on that you may not. But a few that are a little bit newer that I think get missed that have really great capabilities are if you scroll down, or you can always use the search up here as well. But if you scroll through some of the apps and you get to kind of the second section here, you should have an app that says equations. So if you teach math or science or elementary and you're doing any kind of math equations or math symbols, you now have an equation builder right in Canva. So instead of having to like build it yourself with like a number and a line for a fraction or something, you can go to apps, scroll down to that equation builder, go to advanced, and then I can add in an equation. So maybe, again, I was not a math teacher, so don't judge me for not really knowing what this means, but I can put this in here. I can write a fraction. I can add a symbol. I can build an entire equation. We'll put another fraction in. I'm just typing in numbers. And then I can continue to add things, and then I can hit insert, and it's going to drop it right into my design. So instead of doing all of that manually, it will build it for you. And it has pretty advanced math symbols. Maybe I want to come in here and edit it. So it's not done once it goes in. I can just choose edit. It will come back and I can change any of the numbers, or I can fill in the answer. So that's kind of a nice little new tip and trick for those who need those math symbols under that apps in that equation builder. Is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. Good question. So you can come back to this later. So I just saw that in the chat. So just double checking. So that's a fun one. That is a new one as well. So it's kind of newish. So under apps, there's that equation builder. And then the other one I'll share that is kind of, again, that a little bit of advanced tip and trick is this bulk create. So this is really great for if you're creating anything in your classroom that you're doing multiple of, where you're just changing one part of it, like certificates. I see it used for stickers. If you have students and you're trying to group them, like their name and a group name, and you want to make it really fun and visual, or like little cards for them or something, you can do that without having to do it manually yourself. So instead of like taking a template and duplicating it and changing something and duplicating it and changing something, bulk create will basically do it for you. So I'm not going to do it in this one because it's harder to see. So I'll just demo this. It's not great for presentations, but I wanted to show you because I think it's got some fun capabilities. Let me think. Let me see if I can do it with an ID card. So these ones are funny. They have barcodes, but maybe I wanted to do this like for a student and put them in groups, or maybe I want to give them their name and their password as they start the school year. Okay, maybe this is not the group. We'll pick one anyways. Maybe we'll use this one. We'll customize. Again, you can customize anything. I'm going to take out page 2. I'm not going to use this one. And I'm going to take out the barcode. But maybe I put their little password, or I put their group name here. You can do this in a certificate. You can do this in a sticker. You can do this all kinds of ways. You could take out the picture and put in the image of the group that you want. You can actually do this with images, which I think is really cool. So I'll show you guys that too. So I can go to apps. I can go to bulk create. And then I can choose enter data, or I can upload it. But I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter. And then I can type in, so maybe I want students' names, and then I want their group. We'll use this as the group column. So I can type in, all the students' names, or I can copy and paste from a spreadsheet. You don't have to do this one by one. And then if I add an image column, I can actually pick something out of my Canva. So you can save those elements to a folder. We talked about that a minute ago. I do have an element folder in here somewhere. Well, oh, here we go. I'm like, there is an element folder. So maybe we have a group that is going to be these beach balls, and we have a group that's going to be flowers. I don't know. Again, I think you guys get the idea. We'll add one more. When you have all the things you want in here, you just hit done. And then I connect them. So this is where I want that image to go. So I choose the menu, connect data. I put the image there. It already attached it. I choose this one, connect data. I pick name. That's where the name is going to go. Continue. It's going to show me all of the things here. And then generate. And it will create one for each of those things without me having to do. Okay, my canvas doesn't. This has been happening to me all week long. My images get broken for some reason, and I don't know why. It normally would show those elements in there. I promise it would. I don't know why mine is doing that. It's a known bug. Mine, just my account has it. So, but notice it did make one for each of them. And it would have that group in there if you wanted it. And again, you could change those. So bulk create, certificates, stickers, cards, all kinds of different things. Really easy to do that. So that is under apps. Couple other quick button tips, and then we'll see if we can squeeze in time for whiteboarding. I just learned this. I didn't know this, and I think this is really fun and a really great option. Let's say you are working and you create something and you want students to only edit certain parts of it. So maybe you have like a graphic organizer or something like that, and you want to lock down certain things. So a lot of people don't even realize you can lock certain parts of your design. Let me find a good slide. So let's say this is a good example. I want kids to drag these answers over, but I don't want them dragging all the boxes. If you click on something across the top or under that 3-dot menu, you have an option to lock down anything in Canva. So you can lock things in place so they don't accidentally get moved while you're creating. When you choose lock, you do have two options: lock position, which still allows you to edit it without moving it, or completely lock it. Sometimes what I hear is it's frustrating that if you have a lot of things you want to lock, you can click and hold, select all kinds of different things and lock them all at once. However, if you do that, if you want to unlock something, you have to go one by one. So it's kind of a pain in the butt if you do it on accident and then need to go back and unlock. There's a new trick to this, which I think is fantastic. So what you can do is you can highlight, select, drag, pick all the things here. And then before you lock them, if you group them, so you across the top, you get an option, choose the word group and group them all together. Then if you do this and you lock it, then I don't know why it moved. That was weird. My Canva is being very weird today. It will lock them all together, but you did it as a group. So if you need to come back and unlock something, you can unlock them all at once instead of having to go one by one. I don't know why it made mine disappear. I am sorry that my Canva is being weird. Yes, fine motor, moving things around. So then if you, yes, as you're creating, if you're like, oh man, I locked too many things at once and now I got to go back, you can lock them all at once, but group them first. I wonder if it's going to do it here. Oh, that didn't do it. So I grouped them. Now they're all one group. So you can group things too. That's a good trick if you're moving lots of things at once or want to resize something all at once. Select, drag, highlight all of it, choose that group option, and then you can lock them. And then if you come back and unlock, then ungroup, and now you can do them one at a time. So just quick little tips to kind of help that workflow. That's a really good option. If you lock something and you share a template out to students, that template link, so they all get their own copy, those objects stay locked even in the template link. So that's a great option as well. Okay, one more button that is like hands down my favorite button in Canva that often gets missed, that is a little bit newer as well. Well, where you find it is a little bit newer. Let's say, for example, I am creating something and maybe I have a couple boxes and I'm going to have them write your idea. So maybe I want some, like, maybe we're talking kind of like brainstorming and I want them to have, their ideas. But I want them, I want to try to like evenly space these and make a little grid. Something you can do that's really fun is you can click and hold and drag. And again, select multiple things. When you select multiple things, you have an option here across the top for position. So under position, you have a few things. You can, move things around, change things, move those layers back and forth. However, this button is often missed and it's the best, y'all. If you just want these evenly spaced all in a line, click and drag, select them all, go to position, and then we have a button right here that just says tidy up. Tidy up, it snaps them all in line and it evenly spaces them. I see faces just like smiling right now and it's amazing. I'll show you that again. It will snap to the outermost edges. So if I only want them this far apart, this can be weird because they're going to overlap, but I don't know. Maybe I want them this far apart. It's these two edges. This one and this one is what they'll snap to. Select, drag, highlight all of the ones I want. Come over here, position. I can do it just vertically or just horizontally, which sometimes you need that too. Or tidy up does both. Tidy up, now they're all in a straight line. So pretty exciting, pretty cool. This one's weird because that was too close together, but I think you guys get the idea. And so that's a really fun option. Instead of dragging and waiting for those pink lines to line up and things like that, which you can do, it will clean it up for you. The only thing I caution about that is text boxes, because they're different lengths, don't always snap together the same. So it doesn't always work with text, but any other graphics it will. The other thing that's under that position menu, and this is really great for students who really struggle, is not only do you have arrange, but you have layers. So even if I have nothing selected, I can still go to position and I can choose layers. So for example, this one, I can see that my text is on top of the blue squares. These are grouped together. So I have the ability to kind of move things around. Maybe the clipboard, somehow I added something and the clipboard got stuck behind and I can't get it back, or it's, sometimes we get those templates where they're really just overlapping. Position, layers, and then you can manually adjust where those things are, or even select something and change it without having to drag it around. So again, select something, position, array. Under the arrange side is tidy up, and then under the layers is all of the different layers on your design if you want to edit something easily. Actually, let's talk sharing and publishing now, and then I'll make sure there's no questions. We are coming up on time, so that went pretty quick. So when we're talking about locking, creating, using those lessons that we put into that folder, ways that you would get those to students. I'm pretty sure you guys are Google Classroom, right? Were you Google Classroom users? Yeah, okay, see lots of nods. I thought so, but then I second guessed myself. Okay, Google Classroom users. So some ways that you would get these to students. Let's say you create a worksheet or a presentation or a Venn diagram where, again, same thing like this. If I created that Venn diagram where I wanted them to drag and drop, somehow I lost my layers here, but they're still here. Let me unlock this one. I don't know what I did. I lost them, but let's say I had those Venn diagrams where it was drag, you could drag and drop in there. You lock all the things you want to lock. When you're ready to share, you just go to share here. And then for Google Classroom users, you would go share, more, and then you would go down and find Google Classroom. If you lock things in the design before you share it to Google Classroom, it will stay locked when it goes to Google Classroom. One thing I will say, if you click on Google Classroom and you find your class and is it going to work for me? Sometimes it does. There we go. I have a sandbox. If I create an assignment will automatically generate a copy for every student. Once they click on it, they have to click the link, but when they do, it's a template. They are forced to make a copy of it, and then they can create and they can edit and modify their own version. So yes, you want to lock it before you send it. However, one thing I will tell you, when you send it, when you create that assignment, the template link goes out, students click on it, they get their own copy. They own that copy. They can go in and unlock things. So which could be helpful for students who really want to be able to move things around. However, so they do have full editing rights. So it's locked when they get the copy, but they can also go in and unlock it. So that kind of makes sense. So just know that ahead of time, just thinking through that workflow for you. And then question, announcement, and material, those are all view only versions of whatever you've created. So if you want them to have their own copy, that is what you would do. If you want them collaborating together, you would go to share, change the link here to the second one, which probably says the name of your school or district. Anyone in my school can edit, copy that link, put that in Google Classroom. They click on it. They can then collaborate together. You could have small group, whole group, partners, whatever that might look like. You can share so they can work together. Again, you'd want to lock it before you share the link, but the link is live. So even if you forget, you can lock while they're in there, but they can also, again, unlock it because you're giving them editing rights. So hopefully that kind of clears up some of those little logistic pieces. The other thing with locking, since we're kind of on that topic, which I sort of said, but I'll show you what I mean by that. If you click on an object, you click on the menu and you go to lock. When you choose that lock position, this is really great for students if you're brainstorming or certain things, because what that does is this box now, I can't move it. I can't delete it, but I can change the text. So if you want to give them places to like label, add text, whatever it might be, the like lock with the pencil, that lock position, again, I can't move it, I can't delete it, but I can still edit what's in it. So if I want them to lock completely and I don't want them to even change any text, I can click lock again, or I can choose just straight lock and it will lock it completely. So different ideas around lock. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Any questions, anything we need to see? Again, you guys have been great about asking them in the chat, but I just wanna just see if I missed anything or if we have any questions about anything so far. This is my favorite thing to hear. So thank you, Stephanie, for saying that in the chat. The fact that you can do so much in Canva without ever leaving Canva. Kids too, it really does help streamline a lot of process and keep things together. So I definitely appreciate hearing that. If there aren't a ton of questions, I'll show you one more thing that, again, can kind of keep everything in one place and streamline your process and make things really exciting. I don't see a ton. I'll keep an eye, but while I share this last thing, let me just share this with you. If you're doing something like comic strips, timelines, infographics, I mean, anything, but those are the ones I see this used a lot. If I have a fun comic strip, like let's say even something like this, maybe I want to add something creative to it. So something really fun is I can, again, search in elements. I'm going to go to my graphics. We have animated graphics. So not only can you, add a little bit of animation to things that were traditionally static, like a comic strip. Maybe I have a little butterfly in my box or whatever it might be. Not only can you do that, but then you can take that a step further. And if you select an object, again, across the top, I have options. One of them is animate. I can create a custom animation, and then I can drag the path that I want the butterfly to go. Maybe I want him to go to this box. So you could have a person walking across your comic strip box. You could have a little butterfly flying around your infographic. It's really great for like interactive timelines. Like you can have a person move across the timeline or move across a map as they're discovering different parts of it and talking about different pieces. So really fun ways to kind of customize that. So things like that. So, again, pick an object. It works on text boxes as well. So if I want like a reader board effect, it'll kind of scroll, have some fun. So anytime you click on something, and then you choose animate at the top, that is where you can kind of control that. I know I said a lot of things, so I apologize. I get excited and I just like fire hose you with all the fun features. And it's only going to get better. We're getting even more things coming soon. Stay tuned at the end of May. We're going to get a lot of new updates, and I think there's one that's going to be really exciting if it comes out. So stay tuned for that. There's a question about, is there a person to help with Canva? I know internally in your district, you have Kathleen and some coaches that can help you, who can also connect you with me if there's a bigger issue we need to talk through, or bigger questions, things like that. But definitely start with your district tech coaches or whoever that might be for your school or your district, whether that's in your school or something like that. And then if they need to connect you with me, we can obviously also do that as well.